We're back on the sporty. Poured oil in the last video. This is kind of a goofy one. Making two videos tonight because I forgot that people wanted to talk about bike reliability. So I did a little thing on that while we were filling this up with oil. So this is done filling. That oil tank did take 4 quarts. So we're going to leave that one there. Also topped off the primary already, so that's good to go. Primary side's good. Oil is in the motor. And we should be about good in terms of that part. So let me throw the oil cap back in. I digressed on the reliability video, so I apologize about that. I know it's a little bit off topic in terms of wrenching on things, more of a discussion, but I had honestly way more comments than I anticipated. Some good, some bad. Not really bad, but some critiques. And again, I don't knock old bikes ever. That's all I have. But I understand that. People watching this channel that see them and they're like, oh man, I want a cool old chopper or something like that. That's kind of more who this is geared towards, not the guys that have been doing this for years. I'm still pretty young, I know that. I don't know. I don't feel as young anymore, but in the grand scheme of things, I've been doing old bike stuff for 6, 7, 8 years. It's not that long compared to several of you old timers that I think potentially watch this channel based on what I'm seeing in the comments. I value all of your opinions. It's also one of the reasons I go to the indie shops and invest my time to build a rapport with them and shoot the shit and learn and watch what they're working on and pick up all sorts of information, because I am still new at this. I'm still not great at this, just figuring it out along the way, but be a sponge. Soak in as much as you can. Anyways, oil is changed. Primary is retopped off. Now we are down to push rod needs to come out here and the adjuster needs to go back in. I haven't dug through the other Sportster box yet that hopefully has a lifter. Then we're going to do headlight and handlebars. And what else? Yeah, we'll start there. Let's do the headlight and bars. At least get the headlight hooked up and potentially have some sort of lighting, because it's getting dark way too early for my liking. And by the time I usually get home, it's dark out. Not the best for riding in the cold, especially when your headlight doesn't work. So grab a screwdriver and just pop the headlight off. Don't know how much of this is I'm gonna do or film per se, but take a look at this thing. We'll be back. Actually, you know what? Let me just pop the lens off. You got one Phillips screw on the bottom of this. It's not that difficult. You guys don't need to watch me do that. We'll be back in a second. So on these bucket style headlight dealios, headlight goes in. This trim ring is slotted at the bottom. And there's just a screw and a pinch bolt with kind of a taper on it right there. These all go together. And that's pretty much it. Once you get that out, you get a floating headlight. So we'll yank this out now. And I did hold this up to the light. I don't have a high beam switch on here, as far as I'm aware. Not one that I saw anyway. I do personally prefer running non-sealed beams, just in terms of fixability on the side of the road if you're traveling or anything like that, because not everybody's going to stock one of these, especially the more and more modern things get. These sealed beams are definitely a thing of the past, and once you get into the sizes, what are these, 5 3/4, I believe? They're a little bit harder to come by. You can still get them, you can still order them, but if you're out on the road or something, oh my goodness. If you're out on the road, in terms of, again, that reliability component, I want everything to be as easy or fixable as possible when you're traveling. And the sealed beams, I cannot say, are the greatest option when you get into those. If you run a sealed beam style with a regular like H7 or H anything, in my opinion, you're much better off, because most auto parts stores are going to stock headlights. Okay. They won't always stock a solid sealed beam, but they will stock an H7, they will stock an H4, they will stock whatever other headlight, I don't know, H11s, I don't even know. All of my stuff's old. But on the bikes that I actually do put a plentiful amount of miles, like the Super Glide, it's a small retro housing, but it does have a replaceable regular bulb in there. If you're period looking for exact proper ways of doing this, ooh, uh-oh. Maybe that's part of the problem, huh? This headlight does not fit that proper in here. We got a floater. Huh. Well, that's not good. I don't think I ever checked that before. So I don't know if that's just a different backing style. Oh well. Let's see if it'll start. Gas on. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. The dogs are out here. We'll hold off on that. It's at least got a headlight in it. I'm going to have to address this. Maybe grab some rubber to put around that headlight, but new bulb is in. That's not going to last very long if that's rattling around, though. Do I even want to run it? Then let's just yank some bars off. See what's going on with these stupid adjustable risers. Ooh, new clutch lever too. Get rid of this giant piece. Then we got a Phillips screw up here for the throttle. I got a brand new throttle sitting around the house here somewhere. I got to figure out where I put that. And a brand new throttle cable. And I might try reusing this cable. I think the issue that I was running into is this stupid ugly grip that's on here is jammed on so tight that it's binding on the housing itself. So if I tighten this in, this is not the throttle setup that was on the bike originally. This is the one that was on this VM carb. And I think the grip is slid on too far where it's binding and kind of holding that in place. And I don't like this. So we'll address that in the new throttle setup and go from there. Let me pull the bars and pull the clutch stuff off. Let those all just dangle. Even if I don't find the throttle housing, we can at least get the bars mounted. Well, we got the throttle cable off. Now we got to pull the clutch lever off. And unfortunately, I got to pull this whole thing because this grip is glued on here pretty good. Make sure these are loose, and then we'll just zip them right off. Ooh, is my ratchet broken? That wouldn't be good. I feel like it's spinning. All right. Now we get to check the old bars. So I dropped them, I lowered them. I didn't do a final removal of one bolt to keep it in place. You don't want to damage the tank, right? Or in my case, it doesn't really matter at all because this tank is beat to crap. But those bars are gone. Let's take a look at the new setups. I like these. Yeah, we'll go for it. Put the clamp right back on. A buddy for something like this is definitely a good idea. Strongly recommended. We'll just get these kind of started. This, I think, needs actually longer bolts too. They're a little shorter than what I would recommend. We're not really trying to tighten these, we're just laying them on loose so we can adjust. Oh, Oh yeah. So this, I don't mind being up here like that. Honestly, I kind of want these a little bit. Now we got options. Do I run them back and have my custom, like, not custom, but my pullbacks where I'm comfortable? If I run them like this, don't really like the pullback as I go forward. Right here is kind of where I'm gonna set this up where I want it. I don't care how cool it looks. But this, to me, is very comfortable. I can go taller with the apes, but these have a little more pullback than I would like. If I ran them up here, it probably looks cool, but for me now I'm twisting my arms out. Screw it, I'm gonna put them right there. At the end of the day, this is about me, not you, right? You don't have to ride it. You just have to look at it. And aesthetically, I think that looks okay. So we'll drop that right there. We're pretty squared up left and right. Good enough, at least. I don't know if I love these risers. I think I got some like 4-inch straight ones too, which might tweak the bar position a little bit down the line here. I think this bar setup should lend itself to being a little bit more forgiving on starting too. Definitely building up on the rust and the chrome in there. But there we have it. I don't know, I don't think that looks bad. It's not as outrageous as the other setup. But if you sit on it, for me, I just kind of feel like a cruiser. The other ones I was kind of like up and out here. I don't mind those, but if I want to run those, I think I'm gonna narrow them. But look at this. I can actually steer now. This thing will be carving corners. Just kidding. And the best part, I can flop this over now without fork stops. Look at that. You can basically go past 90 degrees. Oh well, bars are done, headlights are done. I don't want to fire the bikes up because the dogs are just running around in the mud and need to dry off. So they'll stay in here. That'll kind of wrap up this short little bit. We still got a ton to do on this. I got to hook the throttle back up, take all that apart, but I don't know where those parts are. And the battery's dying after my long-winded rant in the last video. So off camera, I tried messing with the headlight again a little bit more. It's still a little loose. It's better than it was, but that's going to need to be addressed. I'm not going to worry about that one right now. It does have a new bulb in it. I'm guessing that the bulbs themselves have a slight variation on the new sealed beam style, so I either need a new outer clamp or there's a ring on the back side of this. I clocked it over so it sits better on the headlight housing in the grooves. I think if I loosen that up again and take that off, I might be able to offset it so the grooves on the headlight actually push in, not where the notches are. We'll take a look at that. And then I threw the throttle cable back on. Was sticking like crazy before. I don't know if it was because of this or what, or the routing. I don't know what we're doing with this one yet. I think I'm gonna route this underneath the fuel line here. So it's got a little stop from blowing over this way. I don't like really zip tying these. I want a lot of float on here. But I did take a screwdriver and pound the crap out of it in between the grip. I have a brand new bare housing because we are gonna swap these grips out. I hate these things, the foam ones. I got a new housing, so we're gonna swap this whole upper section out, or at least the tube portion. I might just keep the chrome housing since this little insert sleeve actually wouldn't be that bad if I went through and adjusted the play out here. Couple turns, and then I just gotta tighten up that nut. Same thing on the bottom, tighten this nut down to the cap. But, look at that spring back. If we go down to the carb, nice hard snappy throttle, and it's a Mikuni, so I can do this all I want. It's not gonna flood. Oh, perks of no accelerator pump. You want to mess with one of your good buddies, just go out and goose the throttle a couple times and then watch them sit there trying to kickstart it in front of a bunch of people at the bar. Or the more fun one, the old lay that right there. Not that I would ever do that, that's just mean, right? Whoops. Really pissed when they do it to me though. It's not as fun. Anyways, grip is on. The clutch we're gonna hold off on a little bit. I got the perch assembly down here. I got a plethora of those things laying around somewhere. I really just need to dig out parts. I don't want to keep running back and forth from the camera to that. I think he's about ready to go in, huh, Shuffs? Yeah. Yeah, no? You want to keep working? Anyways, that's, I think we're going to call it for now. We should probably go in and do some Thanksgiving chores. We'll catch you on the next one.